today I wanted to talk really briefly about something called intermittent fasting. And it's a way of controlling calorie intake without having to meticulously track all of your food intake. It's also referred to sometimes as time-restricted feeding, and the reason is because that's exactly what it's doing, is you're restricting the amount of time that you're allowing yourself to eat each day. And by doing that, in combination with making healthy and satiating and filling food choices, then you're able to limit the amount of calories that you take in each day, and it can make it easier to stick to whatever your nutrition plan is. And so a very common way to do this would be to use a 16-hour fasting period, which is no eating for 16 hours, and then 8 hours you allow yourself to eat. And so by limiting yourself to only 8 hours instead of maybe 12 or 16 hours of eating, the principle is that it's harder to eat excessive food during that time period, and so it's easier to maintain that calorie deficit or maintenance level or whatever level of calories it is that you're trying to stick to. So it really doesn't matter how long that time period is. You find one that works well for you, but we'll just go ahead and talk about it assuming an 8-hour feeding window. So this could look a couple of different ways. One way would be to start off first thing in the morning, and I've done it this way before, where get up at 6 and start eating, and then you stop eating at 2 p.m. and then you don't think about food again until the end of the day, until the next day at 6 a.m. It controls how much food you're able to take in. It controls the number of snacks that you're able to ingest. If you're somebody who doesn't like really large meals, it makes it even easier because you just can't overeat in that short period of time. For other people, that time period may not work well. For example, if you like to eat dinner with your family every night at 6 or 7 p.m., obviously stopping at 2 is going to make it very difficult. And that was a challenge for me at the time because I would sit there and watch my family eat. So it didn't really work very well for me for very long. But another way of doing that would be to start eating at noon and then stop eating at 8 p.m. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't typically eat breakfast, that's fine. There's really no reason to eat breakfast unless you particularly like it. There's been studies that have shown that eating breakfast doesn't really benefit you in any way, shape, or form unless you just function better eating breakfast as an individual. So if you do, great, eat it. If not, don't worry about it. In any case, starting at noon and then stopping at 8 allows you to eat lunch, allows you to eat some snacks in the afternoon, dinner with your family, and then you're done eating. And so as you can see, it limits how much time you're allowed to eat. Now, if you're eating a lot of junk food or high calorie, low filling, less satiating foods, then this plan is still very easy to overeat on. However, if you're also, in addition to sticking to that eating time, that feeding window, if you're also sticking to healthy, nutrient-dense, filling, satiating foods, things that are high in protein, which is very satiating, high in fiber, which is very filling, these kinds of food choices, and not excessive in calorie intake, then you can see how that could very easily just sort of automatically help you to maintain that calorie level of calorie intake that you're trying to achieve. And so consider this as one option if you're looking for a way to try and control calories. You might give this a try. Keep in mind too that this is not something that has any hard and fast rules. You can adjust this based on your different events that are coming up, your schedule, that kind of thing. So maybe during the week you eat noon to 8, but on the weekend you eat 6 to 2. There's nothing wrong with that. Whatever works out for you as an individual and something that you can adhere to long term is what's going to be most effective for you. So just wanted to share that with you today. If you have any questions or anything, just leave them in the comments on this video and I'll be happy to get back with you on that. Thanks.